Fuck you, Saudi Arabia. Nobody's ready for us to have to return fucking guilt. Fucking mindless consumer. I don't know how I could live with myself if I had everything in days of man nothing. What a selfish, don't like the language. Better the fucking show is, unless I fucking swear. Mike AD, I'm getting sick of this shit product. Hi. I'm Mike AD. And I'm back, baby. Just long enough to bring you the best and worst awards for the year 2020, then disappear back into the ether. You know I'm like a cicada. I go to sleep for a year, then I wake up and make a shitload of noise and fuck with your minds. Well, this year's been a doozy. Honestly, it sucked a golf ball through a garden hose. So get on Alibaba.com. Start ordering in bulk quantities, because this is what a dozen people call the Burning Hammer Awards. The best of the best. Socially distanced horror show, wrestling award show gold rush ever. Believe me, we're flattening the curve. Worst authority figure. In the past year, they've really dialed back the use of the authority figure, and this is a good thing, which is why every time we see a member of the royal family, we're reminded of how rote they are. And this year, the award goes to Vince McMahon. He's got to be 80 years old. He looks like he's melting. He's so out of touch with the current product that he still thinks that I care what he has to say. Does he revel in the fact that most of his fan base wants him to shuffle off this mortal coil? Sad part is, his mother is a centenarian and still alive. At this rate, Raw is going to look like Weekend at Bernie's. Second goes once again to his daughter, who shows up periodically to make historic announcements, host draft shows, but her voice makes me cringe. They have her given constant accolades for a female executive when we know it's just nepotism. Listen, sweetheart, you were born 3 feet from home plate and you think you scored. Get off my TV. Worst non-wrestler. Not many of these left, since they want to put all their female talent in the ring. A few years ago, Lana won this award, and this year it's ironic that she is once again the worst non-wrestler, because she can't wrestle. Vince sees her body in a tight jumpsuit and says, "Look at that ass! That's the shit! Put her in the ring!" I think Brett said it best. She's the shit. Get her out of the ring. Worst female wrestler. This is difficult, because there's so many Barbie dolls who can't run the ropes, and there's also reckless freaking workers who just hurt everyone they're in the ring with. Lana is just one of the worst. Not even the promo work is good anymore. Perhaps instead of putting her through the table every week, you can throw her out the door. And then there's Peyton Royce. Only one good attribute. Billie Kay, you look like Maleficent who can't wrestle yourself out of a paper bag. And then there's Tamina Snuka. I don't care if Jimmy Snuka's your daddy. How do you still work for this company? The Ahmed Johnson Award for shitty ring work. Nia Jax. I guess it's not who you are, it's who you know. And being related to The Rock is giving this plus-size model more chances than Dave Mustaine at the Betty Ford Clinic. She continues to leave a long line of victims, and they continue to do nothing about it. Fuck body positivity, fuck The Rock, fuck Saudi Arabia. You're taking out more people than the coronavirus. Worst male wrestler, Elias. It's a cool gimmick. The guy actually sings songs and plays the guitar, and once a year smashes up Chinese orchestra instruments in symphony of destruction matches. Unfortunately, the ceiling is very low. Once the bell rings, it's not that good. There's thousands of guys that wish you had this guy's charisma, but when your gimmick is singing songs, blindsiding guys with guitar shots, then losing every feud, it's no wonder the fan base doesn't take you seriously. You're a mid-card jobber. Worst tag team. It is with perverse pleasure that I actually nominate a real tag team for this award, due to WWE's penchant for breaking up real tag teams. And this one is a real tag team, a real friendship, and that's the Iconics. Just one brutal match after another. Unfortunate for Billie Kay, you're in catering now because Vince broke up your team because he likes Peyton's ass. Duke Droese, what a waste award. Drew Golak, Akira Tozawa, Lucha House Party, these guys have so much talent, but they're endlessly chasing around R-Truth for that joke 24/7 title. These guys should be the backbone of your show, but instead, they're written into the history books as someone that had the same title as the Gobbledygooker. Worst commentator, Michael Cole, Vic Joseph, the whole lot of you clones. You're the reason why the product is so dull. Overproduced, overscripted commentary is the death of this product. Have you seen the booking? Worst entrance music, Keith Lee. Who put together that lame mishmash of his original theme and the WCW theme? They don't even sound like the same song, just lazy. While I'm at it, I hereby nominate whoever was responsible for the new crop of WWE theme songs for the Fred Durst Award for shitty entrance music. You're fired! Please hire the CFOs back. Look at their body of work. Bobby Roode, Aleister Black, Shinsuke Nakamura, the list goes on. Make this happen. Worst entrance. Shotzi Blackheart in that stupid tank. I know about your brother and your loyalty to the military, but that kid's toy makes you look like a joke. Roll out on the stage with a military jeep. That would kick ass. Worst on promos, Nia Jax. Can somebody tell this woman that everything that comes out of her mouth sounds like absolute bullshit? Charismatic Vacuum Award. Indy Hartwell. Just looks lost. Deer in the headlights. 2 blank eyes. See you later. Why are they pushing this guy award? It's still Baron Corbin. Close second is Carmella. No matter how you rebrand her, she just sucks. The Dolph Ziggler Award for Stop Pushing. Rhea Ripley. She started out so well, destroyed her opposition, won the NXT Women's title, then lost it to Charlotte because reasons. Then ever since, can't catch a break or win the big one. I guess, when you have the most formidable women's roster in all of wrestling, you're going to have to wait your turn. I never understood the purpose of putting the title on her when she was just going to drop it shortly after. Sounds like interference from Mumbra, the ever-living, in gorilla position. She's been inside feud purgatory since April, and I see no escape for her unless she just turns heel, or Vince decides his strippers aren't cutting the mustard and wants the whole bloody roster on SmackDown. The Chloroform Award, the superstar, just pushed in your face to the point of suffocation. Charlotte Flair, the Crypt Keeper, has a hard-on for thrusting this woman into our face until we reach a collective gag reflex. Her appearances on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, while she was the NXT champion, eating up TV time like a blonde cookie monster. Believe me, I was getting sunburned from overexposure. Right now she's taking some time off, which is a good thing, but it's only a matter of time before she gets thrust right into the title match or given the title again. You know they want her to break her father's fake title record so they can create more moments. Deja Vu Award. You know the feeling like, I've seen this match before? This year, it was any combination of Humberto Carrillo, Rey Mysterio, Andrade, and Angel Garza. It seemed like it was infinite permutations for 3 months straight. The Bastion Booger Award for Worst Physique. Sami Zayn. Come on, man. You were home for half a year. Do some push-ups or something. In the era of drug tests, I understand. It's harder than ever to look like a greased-up beefcake. But come on, at least look like you're trying. Worst booking. Backlash. Orton versus Edge. Booking it as the greatest wrestling match ever. Seriously booking yourself into an unwinnable scenario and producing unmeetable expectations. Thankfully, this match was a masterpiece compared to the WrestleMania snooze fest, I'll say that much. Close second is taking an Olympic wrestler and exploiting the fact that he's small and then changing his name to Shorty G. Worst feud. Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. Seth is looking for a sacrifice to make the wrestling world better. So he goes around trying to pop out eyes. And this culminates in Seth versus Rey in an eye for an eye match in which the winner, get this, has to remove the other guy's eye. Second goes to WWE, exploiting Jeff Hardy's alcoholism by having Sheamus stage a hit and run, then have a barroom brawl match coming from the company that made fun of colon cancer. Here's one for you. Hey Vince, you have fucking dementia. Just a shameless promotional tactic. Most overrated. 2 words. Nia Jax. The Bailey This Is Your Life Award for Worst Segment. The sham marriage of Bobby Lashley to Lana culminating in returning Liv Morgan, interrupting the nuptials, claiming to be lesbian crush of Lana. Oh, Lord have mercy. Just a badly conceived, horribly executed mess of a segment that in the end hurt everyone associated with it. Fast forward, a couple of months later and the WWE seems to have erased the fact that it ever happened. Worst NXT call-up. Well, I tell you the truth, we haven't seen very much this year, but what we can see is brutal usage of top NXT talent like Aleister Black, who spent more time in the closet than R. Kelly, Ricochet, possibly the best high flyer they have, losing to developmental guys. We have Lars Sullivan, who can't seem to stay off the internet. But this, as far as the WWE goes, is par for the course. Worst heel turn, Aleister Black. They had a sure turn thing with this guy. Great look, decent size, good promo, amazing entrance, great theme music, and then they squandered it all. They have him living in a boiler room. Then you involve him in the Seth Rollins Rey Mysterio angle. Then you had him getting laid out, losing matches, gaining an eye patch, turning heel, changing shows, and then you took away his music. And it's not over yet because you disappeared again from TV because creative obviously has nothing for a great wrestler who is the total package. And then you fire his wife. So Mr. Black, the writing's on the wall in bold capital letters. Vince is bored. Times New Roman. Oh, Roman, that's the reason why he forgot about you. You're not Roman. He forgot you were on the roster. Don't try going to his office. Don't try to get sent back to NXT. You're going to be in catering for a very long time, only to reappear magically to lose to Kalisto after a roll-up in 3 minutes. Believe me, it's easier this way. Ask for your release. He'll say no. He'll dangle the IC title in front of you. You'll fall for that. It's going to be the shit. But you were deceived because he'll get bored, and then 2 weeks later, you're not getting over in front of a fake crowd, and you'll drop the title to Brandon Vink when you're distracted by Mandy Rose's ass. Listen to me, I've had more predictions come true than Mohammed, and they call him a prophet. I'd be negotiating my release because it's time for your WWE career to fade to black. You're finished. Worst face turn. Sheamus? At least that's what it looks like. But you have to be shitting me. A few months back, the sunburned assassin tries to falsely implicate Jeff Hardy in a hit and run, making fun of his substance abuse, blindside guys left and right, and then he runs into Drew McIntyre and is fine? It's like, buddy, you made fun of an alcoholic when McIntyre himself suffered from alcoholism. Double standard, anyone? Yeah, fuck it. Wrestling fans have a short memory. It's a half face turn at best. It's either that or Big Show's obligatory face turn this year. Blood from a Stone Award. Going to the well too many times. Has to be WWE's cinematic matches. Taker's last match was truly great, but not every pay-per-view needs a swamp fight or a House of Horrors match or wrestlers with telekinesis. Please throttle back on these, and please stop putting Lana through a table. If every week you go through a table, it doesn't make you look sympathetic. It's a joke. It makes you look like a loser. Worst gimmick has to be Retribution. This ragtag group of wrestlers, fed up with their mistreatment, dressed up like Bane, the Predator, and Jason Voorhees, every week wrecking the ring and causing mayhem, and then WWE gives them a contract after they committed destruction of property and arson? What kind of a promoter calls Dominic Dijak T-Bar, Shane Thorne Slapjack, and expects them to be taken seriously? This could ruin these guys' wrestling careers. Believe me, Mercedes Martinez made the right move, getting the fuck out of there. Worst faction, Retribution. It's like the Nexus, except they don't intimidate or win. Vince Russo's shitty title switch award. Nothing struck the ire of the fans this year than seeing The Fiend, a man, a creature, deemed so invincible he could be stomped dozens of times and still arise out of the ashes. A man, a creature, booked so strongly and booked the entire Bray Wyatt gimmick into a corner. And how do you beat an invincible man? Bill Goldberg one suplex. Fucking sucked. But we know why. Because they wanted Bill against Roman in a spear versus spear match that never materialized. A close second is how they substituted Roman for Braun Strowman when Roman went home to escape the coronavirus. That match also sucked. Speaking of shitty title switches, WWE Draft decides to swap the Street Profits and the New Day, figuratively placing the SmackDown champs on Raw and the Raw champs on SmackDown. How do we solve this? Unify the belts? Fuck it. Let's trade the titles. And better, they each get a new title reign. Worst WWE pay-per-view. This year really sucked. I mean, there were quite a few shows from the empty arena era, which the absence of a crowd killed the vibes. But worst of all comes from Sweet Saudi Money 4, Super Showdown Akbar, with questionable booking of The Undertaker beating AJ Styles in 15 seconds to win the prestigious Two-Wake trophy, and Goldberg Hindenburging the indestructible Fiend in 5 minutes with a glorified suplex. Or how about the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania 36, empty arena. Huge moments like Drew McIntyre dethroning Brock Lesnar to become WWE champion, Kevin Owens diving off the big boat through a table, and what do we hear? Crickets. Worst match of the year. Edge versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 36. Listening to two guys grunt and groan more than a gay porno for an agonizing 45 minutes just took the exclamation point off an amazing feud that just fizzled out at the wrong time. Now for the best authority figure. There was still nobody better than William Regal. Gotta say, Adam Pearce is growing on me, but they insist on putting his bald ass in every segment. He could become the new Baron Corbin. Best non-wrestler, Paul Heyman. Paul wins this one every year because he's the ultimate hype man. Unfortunately, they fired the best manager on TV a few months back, and that was Zelina Vega. She was running Raw most nights with her confidence and personality, but unfortunately, they stripped her of her teams, turned her into a women's wrestler, threatened to take away her Twitch account, and the rest is history. Best female wrestler. No one could have ever said that a heel Bayley would go anywhere, but she made it work. Held the women's title for 380 days and totally transformed herself. Second place goes to Asuka, just a bizarre personality that eats up the screen and delivers in the ring. Best male wrestler. This year has to be Drew McIntyre. He's in a top position. He's had many matches with top guys, and they've been for the most part really good. He's had the top title at the worst possible time, and he's handled it with absolute grace. And now that Roman has turned heel, Drew looks like he's one of the top baby faces in the company, and it's well deserved. Best tag team is the Street Profits. Nobody else is healthy. Still with the company or not broken up. It's obvious Vince doesn't care about the tag team wrestling. Otherwise, he wouldn't have released AOPP, split up Heavy Machinery, split up the Hype Bros, fired the Forgotten Sons. So as a result, there's the New Day, Lucha House Party, and the Street Profits, Dolph, and whoever, and half of the Viking Experience. Time to unify those belts. Most improved has been Dominic Mysterio. Damn. No house shows to hone your craft, and you get thrown on TV with some big names. You still look good. Unexpectedly great. Plus that match you had with your dad, where you beat Murphy and Rollins, one of the best matches of the year. You have a long way to go, because once your dad leaves the company, you'll find his influence as a strong factor in your push as a WWE superstar. Second has to be Raquel Gonzalez. Wow, has she improved from awkward big woman to confident performer. Best commentator. With the departure of Morrow, it left the door open for anybody. I mean anybody to stand out. But honestly, we have Michael Cole, Vic Joseph, and that other guy. You see what I mean? Just a boring WWE archetypical commentator who doesn't do anything to stand out, just blends into the background. That's why this year's winner is a newcomer to the commentator booth, Samoa Joe. Wow, is this guy a breath of fresh air to a stale commentary team? Give this guy a paintbrush. I bet he could paint the Mona Lisa. Everything this guy does, he succeeds at. Too bad he just kept getting hurt. Best physique, Bobby Lashley. Jesus Christ, does this guy look like a Greek statue? Peyton, you're second. Wow, would you look at that? That's the shit! Best entrance music. Jeez, who's got a good entrance theme that's still on TV? Who has an entrance theme that hasn't been changed? 2 years back, it was Bobby Roode's Glorious Domination. He basically Dolph Ziggler's lackey now. So this year's winner goes to everyone's favorite wrestler, Vacant. Until they decide to use these guys properly, I refuse to give out this award. Best entrance. In the age of burying guys who have good entrance music, it's hard to pick a winner here. But Karrion Kross with the black and white preamble, and then it just explodes with fire and brimstone. Jesus H. Christ, does that entrance make me forget that he's a bore to watch? Second is Bray Wyatt, just evil and ominous. The matches suck, but damn, is that entrance kick-ass. Best on promos. Who would have thought that I was saying that Rey Mysterio would be the best on promos? He just comes across as so unscripted and sincere. And Randy Orton, his work this year has been incredible. Too bad nobody was there to see it. And Tommaso Ciampa, that guy just exudes evil. Why aren't they pushing this guy award? Ricochet, Aleister Black, Andrade. Is Vince allergic to NXT? Guilty as charged. Best charisma, hate to say it, Roman Reigns, that new character he has, and he's in the zone right now. Best faction, The Hurt Business. MVP, has saved Lashley's career, coming out of that sham marriage to Lana. Bullshit seems to come in bunches with this company. He revived the Beatdown Clan, and in the process made he, Lashley, Cedric Alexander, and should I say a Shelton Benjamin relevant? Promoter of the Year MVP, Best Booking, Roman Reigns' ascent as the head of the table. From his unexpected arrival, to his alliance with Paul Heyman, to his dastardly deeds with his cousins, the Usos, Roman has become the best heel on television. Best feud. In the age where long-term booking means tearing up the script 3 hours before airtime, sometimes we get exactly what the doctor ordered. This year, it was Bayley versus Sasha Banks. These two finally get a chance to replicate their feud from NXT on the main roster after so many stops and starts. A short run with the tag titles, then Bayley goes berserk chops down her buddies and becomes a confident heel. Who would have thought? She uses her friend, then betrays her. Sasha then beats her and wins the women's championship. Let's be honest here. It's not going to get any better than this in WWE. A close runner-up is Randy Orton versus Edge. Unfortunately, Edge got injured again, which left the end of this rivalry hanging. Whether we'll ever get to see the end of that really remains to be seen. Bronze medal goes to Roman versus Jey Uso. I mean, from his surprise championship match to his eventual turn to join the Bloodline, this storyline, this one made you want him to turn on his uncle so bad. And that is good TV. Most underrated, Cesaro. Jesus, this man is a machine. Everything you make him do, he succeeds. Doesn't matter who you tag him with, they get over. He has the physique, the skill set to be the main eventer, but is continually passed over. Best NXT call-up. There was very little of note this year, but the standout and the one that has the most potential is Keith Lee. Just exudes charisma. As long as they don't overexpose him and beat him in distraction finishers, we have a world title contender for years to come in him. Best heel turn. It happened. It finally happened. And it was good. And it's been great so far. Roman Reigns is the heel. The only question is, why didn't they do this years ago? Best face turn, Buddy Murphy. After spending months as Seth Rollins' altar boy, finally has enough and snaps and attacks him and then beats Seth clean. Seeing him with the Mysterio family was a feel-good moment. Please don't leak your porn tape. Please do. Best title switch, Keith Lee beating Adam Cole to unify the NXT North American and the NXT Championship. It was epic. The confetti fell from the ceiling, and it was well received. Second would be the Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, beating the Undisputed Era to win the tag titles. Really good match. Best NXT pay-per-view, NXT In Your House, was pretty damn good. The women stole the show, as well as TakeOver XXX, who had some great matches. Best WWE pay-per-view, fuck it, nothing. There were a handful of matches on the main roster, but WWE can't seem to put one solid show together without having a main course surrounded by 2 slices of excrement. Vacant. I don't care. Some garbage shows this year. Match of the year. 5-way ladder match between Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, Cameron Grimes, Bronson Reed, Velveteen Dream for the vacant North American Championship, NXT XXX. Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair triple threat for the NXT Women's title. TakeOver In Your House. Ladies tore it down. Orton versus Edge 2, really good. Exceeded expectations. Mysterio and Son overcome horrible booking to defeat Rollins and Murphy in a great feel-good moment. All of them deserve serious commendation. And that's it for this year's Burning Hammer Wars. Don't like the choices? Fuck you, it's called an opinion. Don't like the suit? It's called poverty. Don't like the set? It's called a budget. Don't like the face? I may look like Charlie Sheen raped Steve Buscemi and converted to Islam, but I still look better than you fat incel motherfucker. Don't like the masks? Don't like the hand sanitizer? Don't like the state of the world for that matter? It's gonna get worse. Don't like the hits? This number ain't gonna get higher into triple digits, but I'm gonna be on the cover of Time magazine before Trump. Don't like the fact that I keep attacking Nia Jax. It's not sexism. She sucks more efficiently than a Dyson vacuum cleaner. Don't like the fact that I keep mentioning Peyton Royce's ass? Get over it. There's at least 15 other people watching Raw this week that also notice Vince's fetish for petite women in skin-tight latex. It's fantastic. And if I have to suffer through 3 hours, plus 2 hours, plus 1 hour, plus 6 hours of television, and pre-shows and pay-per-views, and network specials, at least let me have some camel toe. Don't like the fact that I keep going to the dark web, looking for an assassin to off Vince McMahon. This old man causes more pain than George Soros, Henry Kissinger, and the mainstream media conglomerate combined. And that's difficult. Maybe one day he'll choke on a protein bar. That or Roman's cock. So until next year when I tune up the band once more and complain about the poor booking, the stop and start pushes, the nonsensical heel turns, and the lack of live audiences, the continual pushing of 55-year-old fossils because they refuse to make new stars, the firing of lifetime employees during a pandemic to make the shareholders happy, the misuse of NXT talent on the main roster, the changing of great theme songs to shittier theme songs out of spite, its continued relationship with the totalitarian regime that murders journalists. Shall I go on? I could do this forever, but our days in the sun are fleeting and few. So just remember, you may consider me to be a wrestling god, but I'm only a security guard. I just observe and report. I shank you in the dark, and you get the hell out of Dodge. So if you're feeling like you just can't take the vitriol anymore, like you just can't dig down deep enough into your ileocecal sphincter and just ambulate to Wednesday night, the other Wednesday night, the one who was creatively, in-ring, demographically dismembering the competition in every group that matters, remember, you can always beat your brains in with a hammer, because I got plenty of surplus hammers. See you next year.